Welcome to the Y&E podcast. We are chatting about the political climate in America today.
Yeah, I don't really see Democrats winning presidency because they don't have messaging. It looks like they have lost touch with reality. Instead, they are chasing shadow and paying attention to things that don't really matter. And to be honest with you, apart from the California governor, Gavin Newsom, I don't even see anybody in the Democratic Party that they can put forward to run. I don't really see it.
I do believe that the Democrats have lost touch with their people, and that's one of the reasons Trump won. So, do you think Trump will win a third term, or do you think any Republican will win in the next election cycle? And the reason I'm asking is that over the years, if you remember during COVID, Trump was the president, and a lot of people felt that he didn't handle COVID very well. And that was what made a lot of people vote against. And if we fast forward 4 years later, during Biden's presidency, a lot of people felt inflation, and they also attached Kamala to Biden's policies. So they're saying it's Biden Kamala's policy. A lot of people weren't happy with the way Biden and Kamala handled immigration. A lot of people were not happy with the inflation of goods and services, especially eggs. A lot of people were freaking out because of the price of eggs. And we know that, the prices are still high at this point. And that is what is going to make people vote against the Republicans. And we're going to see what happens on April 1st and when the people in Florida goes to the polls. And we'll see if Republicans can still win with everything Trump and everyone in his administration is doing right now. I don't believe that if they keep going the way they're going, a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of, government workers, they're getting laid off. I'm sure those people are going to vote against. So even if Democrats don't have any good message or any messages to pass across to win people's vote, a lot of people that are angry with his administration will vote against him. They'll vote against JD Vance if JD decides to run in 4 years. So we can't really predict what's going to happen, but we know that if a lot of people are feeling the impact of the economy, inflation is still high, things are expensive, a lot of people are losing their jobs, they're going to take it out with whoever's running on Trump's platform, whoever's running on Republicans' platform. They're going to say they have the Senate, they have the House, they have the presidency. So why are things still hard? So that's why I asked, do you think Trump will ever win if he decides to run for the third time? Or even JD decides to run? Do you think they can ever win any election with the way things are going right now?
I mean, you are partially correct, but I would argue that Florida would not be a good litmus test to try to test Trump popularity because it's a traditionally Republican state. So no matter what is happening in the country, they will still tilt towards Republican. It's just like in state of Indiana. Okay, no matter who Republicans decide to run or put up for governorship, no matter the person, no matter the person's record, and you bring out the best of the best in Democrat, the person in the Republican Party will beat the Democrat because Indiana is traditionally Republican, and that will not change for a very long time. So that is why I'm saying that I don't think Florida will be a good litmus test to test Republicans' popularity. A good place, test it would be like in Pennsylvania or Michigan. These places that are in the middle, I don't know if there is any election coming up, any midterm election coming up in those places. Yeah, those places will determine if, what Trump is doing, if, they approve of it. It's just like you trying to test a Democrat's popularity in the state of California or in the state of New York. You are not going to get the result because those places are traditionally Democrat. And I feel like there was a post on their Facebook today, and I think I engaged with that post. And the Democrats are chasing shadows. They are not, telling the people what they will do different. How they will handle the economy different, and everything else Trump is doing. They don't have like a counter argument. All they are just doing is can't stand it. And people are tired of it. People are tired of that behavior. If you think Trump is deporting, people that have overstayed their visa, people that are illegal, people that are undocumented, if you think what he's doing is wrong, tell us or tell the people what you would do different.
I agree with you, but because Florida is a Republican state, I believe it will be a good litmus test to test what Trump is doing right and what Trump is doing wrong. It's traditional Republican. Even though if Democrats do not win on April 1st, we should still see the margin be significantly reduced because of what the Trump administration is currently doing. There's a lot of Latino communities in Florida. They're feeling the impact of uh, Trump's immigration policy. I'm sure the people that voted for him will reconsider what is going on right now. A lot of their family members are being targeted. So I believe Florida will be a good test to see if the people over there approves of what Trump is doing. I know Democrats might not win in this state, but at the same time, we should see the reaction of the people in Florida. If they approve Trump's policies, they will overwhelmingly vote for Republican candidates in Florida. And if they don't, we'll see, even though the Republican will win, we'll see that the support for their policies will be significantly reduced compared to when a lot of people support Trump's.
Yeah, you are not wrong. There is a whole lot of Latino community in Florida. But I also want to tell you that a good number of them that is being deported, like the undocumented ones, are not the ones that voted for Trump. They couldn't vote for him because they are not legal. They don't have the paperwork to do that. So it means that the people that are legal, yeah, we could make a case that, they are family members and stuff like that, but they are not being affected by the immigration policy. Yeah, we could talk about maybe um job loss and stuff like that, but not necessarily in the terms of immigration, because it's just like some of us, some citizens, like immigrants from other countries, like let's say Africa, that is a citizen here, the person is not being affected by Trump's immigration policy. Yeah, um I still maintain that Florida is not a good place to test, what Trump is doing. I think it will be places like Michigan that is predominantly Muslims. Let's see how they react to, to what is happening in Gaza, how Trump is handling the Gaza situation, Gaza and Israel situation. Places like Pennsylvania, those places those places like the neutral grounds will be a good place to test what Trump is doing, because don't forget, during the election, I think he carried all the battleground states. So let's see if they will, when, or maybe during this midterm election, or when JD Vance, decide to run for presidency, if they will, support Trump, again.
Yep, I definitely agree with you that a lot of people that are being affected by this administration's policy, they didn't vote for him, but their family members voted for him. And with what Trump is doing right now, I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the pain. People that voted for him that lost their jobs, people that voted for him that are losing their businesses, and they're hardly getting by because of his policies. They're gonna rethink. They're gonna go to the election or go to the polls, being mad at him. And if they believe that it didn't do a lot of the things that it promised to do for them to make their lives better, they'll vote against him. They'll vote against his candidate. But I agree with you partially that the battleground state will be a better place to test his policies. But at the same time, we'll see what the election results in Florida comes up with in the next few days. But that should also give us an indicator of how much the people that voted for Trump's policies, how much they're still in support of that policy. I believe there are a lot of people who are starting to rethink how they voted, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few days. And regardless of what happens, we do know that the administration is also afraid of what might happen if Democrat wins a couple more seats?
Yeah. So hypothetically, who do you think that Democrats can potentially, present for 2028 as a presidential candidate? We know, somebody like Gavin Nunes. Yep. Then who else do you think? Because definitely, I honestly believe that Kamala Harris shouldn't come back again. She's more suitable to, to run for governor, just or go back as a Attorney General of California and just stay there. Don't come back again because she ran a terrible campaign, though she didn't have enough time. But everything that you can attribute to bad campaign, she did all of that. So she has no good intention for the country. I wouldn't even want her to run again. So apart from Kamala Harris and Gavin Nunes, who else do you think can potentially put up a fight with Donald Trump?
I disagree with what you said about Kamala. I don't know her personally. I don't believe that she doesn't have good intentions for the country. Do you think she'll be performing worse than Trump right now? We will never know. But I agree that she shouldn't run at this point. We know she didn't have enough time to run a good campaign. If the former president had made up his mind sooner, maybe it would have been a different result. But again, we will never know. But to answer your questions about the people that can run for president on the Democratic ticket in in about 3 to 4 years. We know that the governor of Pennsylvania is very popular, George Shapiro. I believe Kamala also interviewed him for a vice president spot during the campaign period last year. Also, the governor of Kentucky, on he's been governor for the last 4 or 5 years. So I believe he's on the second term. He is a Democrat governor in the Republican state. So anything is possible. If people love him, they will definitely vote for him. If they love his policies, they will vote for him. So I'm sure they have other good candidates that they can also field, and we'll see how they go.
The only person I would really like to see run for, on the Democratic side would be Cory Booker. I like him. He's outspoken. He's not, he don't mind words. He don't stutter. He say it as it is. And that is one, person that I would really like to see, run for president. Yep. I'm seeing a lot of names that, a simple search is giving me a lot of names, and then those names they better not come up. Like somebody like Buttigieg, a former Secretary of Transportation. Hell no, don't bring him. No, 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 no. Andrew Cuomo will not be able to run because of the scandal. I mean, he's running for mayor in New York, but on the national level to run for president, well, people could make the case that Trump, did the same thing as Andrew Cuomo, but I don't really see Andrew Cuomo. I don't really see Americans tilting towards Andrew Cuomo, especially when the Democrats have been, shouting and yelling about, Trump's behavior and stuff like that. I don't see them because right now Democrats are presenting themselves as the party of morality and stuff like that. So putting up Andrew Cuomo will really be too damaging for them. Chris Murphy, senator from Connecticut, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. No, 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 no. I don't think she's that big. I think people give her too much credit. I know she's terrific. She's been wonderful. She's been doing a good job. She's very outspoken. But I don't think she has, that strength. She has that political strength to put up a fight and take all those political jab from Trump. I don't think she's prepared for that. Yeah, but one person I would really like to see run for that election on the Democratic side that I think can debate, whoever the Republican will present, and that will really put up a good debate would be Cory Booker.
Yeah, that's another option. Westmore is the governor of Maryland. We never can tell what can happen. I know there are a lot of names out there that can run. The governor of Michigan as well. I don't know. Maybe the governor of California might be the best option, but we'll see. There's still a lot of time. There's a lot of campaign, a lot of handshakes that will happen in the future. So you never can say never. with the way the Trump administration is going, if they don't take sides and start doing the things that they promise their voters, especially people that voted for them, if they keep tanking the economy, if they keep letting people, their supporters, especially lose their jobs, they will revolt against it. I believe they'll prefer to vote for anyone else but Trump's people or Trump's candidate. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But at this time, I know we're feeling the heat of the economy. Yeah, a lot of people that used to work for the federal government are losing their jobs. They're canceling a lot of contracts. People are losing their jobs. So a lot of people that are feeling that pain will definitely go against them and also campaign against.
I truly believe that Gavin Nunes and Cory Booker, can put up a good fight. And recently, if you've been following Gavin Nunes, his interview and stuff like that, he's been leaning towards the middle. So it gives me the impression that he really wants to run. So he's trying to appeal to Republicans. For some major issues, he has always been in the middle. Recently, he's, trying to balance it between Republican and Democrat, So it gives me the impression that he wants to run. And I would really like to see him maybe either pick Cory Booker as a vice or maybe, Cory Booker pick him as a vice. Both of them will really put up a good fight. But hold on. What if, hypothetically, we see Hillary Clinton coming out again?
No, she's not gonna come back. I don't think Kamala will come back as well because I don't think it'll ever happen.
Why? Why do you think it's not
She's
going to happen with Hillary Clinton?
I think she's put it behind her, and she thought she was gonna win in 2016, so it was a big shock that a lot of people didn't vote for her, even though she won the popular vote and she fell short with the electoral college votes. But yeah, I don't think she will ever come back. I don't think Kamala will ever come back. Losses like these are very painful. You know, Hillary thought she was gonna win. Kamala was there, even though she fell short. She fell short. A lot of people didn't come out to vote. Losses like that, you would think people will, you know, try to vote for change. But at the same time, they went Trump's way, and it's okay. But I don't think she'll ever.
I mean, historically, people don't win in their first run. I think the few people that won in their first run, I think Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Biden, this is not his first time running. That was not his first time running.
But as vice president,
I think he ran against Obama when they told him to step down, something like that.
only
He
in the
tried to run for primary, yeah. So that was not his first
yeah,
time.
primary shouldn't count. Talking about national elections, so primary shouldn't count. If you never
And
get the party's ticket, then it shouldn't.
and may God bless his soul, the late McCain, he ran several, I think. Well, you said they never made it to the primary. They didn't get a party ticket. I was going to say Jeb Bush. And I haven't even heard of that guy again.
Yeah, yeah. Trump damaged him, so he's never going to return to politics again.
It's so unfortunate because Trump was trying to damage him and Marco when he was calling Marco little.
I think Trump is just a bully, and he enjoys bullying people, and a lot of his supporters like it, and that's why they're voting for him. Because I'm sure a lot of the things that came out, whether true or not, a lot of things that came out would have disqualified a lot of presidential candidates. Remember the Hollywood tape that would have, you know, disqualified a lot of other candidates, but he came back stronger. Even though the last few years, the impeachment, the January 6 issues, and all the other things, all the other alleged crimes he committed, that would have disqualified other candidates. But I guess Trump is special. He's a special man.
So you think he's a better politician than most people, or he's just a bit lucky?
I think he's a smart politician. He's a smart politician because they say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. People didn't believe he would run again after everything that happened. And he ran and he won. So I'll say he's smart. He plays his cards, especially with the things he says about his own supporters. He says he likes the uneducated. That would have discouraged. I mean, that would have disqualified other people. But a lot of his people gravitated towards him. They like the way he speaks. He doesn't speak big English that will make his supporters. He says crazy things, and a lot of his supporters like. Him. They keep voting for him.
There's one thing I noticed from him. I think since I've been listening to like a political speech and stuff like that, I think he's one person that really speaks from the heart. Like I don't think I don't think they even write speech for him. Even if they do, I don't think he follows it. Like he don't follow teleprompter. I think he just speaks from the heart. And I see that he's a really good speaker. Yeah, he speaks very well. I'm not talking about like English, like expressing himself in English, but I'm saying like for somebody that don't look at the teleprompter, use teleprompter, or read his speech, he's a very good speaker. And maybe part of that is because he's a businessman. He's been in business for so long. He's been giving speeches, raising money from investors, and talking to investors and then getting money from their pocket. So for a very long time, he has been convincing people. So maybe that is what has been helping him. Yeah, he's a really good speaker. The only speech I see that I can put, above his speech was that I think it was 2008 Barack Obama speech when I think when he accepted a party nomination or something like that when he gave that speech, and that speech was very, very good. You could listen to that speech, every day, throughout the year. That was really good. But from his style and everything, I think he's a really good speaker.
I don't think he's a really good speaker. The things he says with his mouth, a lot of people would say it and they'll get fired from their job. But for some reason, he's been getting away with it for a very long time. I believe he thinks nobody can hold him accountable. And it looks like no one can hold him accountable. Many of the things he's doing or he's done in the past, if any of us would have done it, he would have probably been kicked out of this country. But Trump is Trump. It's Trump. It's getting lucky day by day. So I don't think he's a good speaker. Even when he reads, when he's reading teleprompter, I know he goes off script and then comes back. Sometimes he'll mispronounce a word and then find a way to ramble off and come back to the word and say funny things. And one thing I've noticed is interest. So when the things he says is interesting, even if you don't want to listen to him, you just still want to hear whatever he's got to say. So I know he's been in the media forever. He's been doing TV shows forever, so he's mastered the art of communication.
So let's say, so who would you compare him to in Africa? So
In terms of
in terms of
communication
speech,
or speech.
addressing people, giving speech, who would you compare him to?
Yes, I'll compare him with the president of Nigeria. I'll compare him with Tinubu. Tinubu gave us Bala Blue. He gave us a lot of memes. He gave us a lot of, yeah, interesting words on the internet. He gave us a Milokan. Yeah, so I'll compare him with Tinubu.
I think the only person that I really see, well, maybe not the only person, but the only person I've really heard, talking is this guy I think he's from Kenya, Professor Mulumba. I think he's a lawyer or something like that.
Yeah, you can't hear with Trump. He speaks better English than Trump. He commands the English language better than Trump. There are a lot of people that are now popular, a lot of people out there that can speak better English than Trump. So I wouldn't even compare him. I won't put him on Trump's level. I'll put him close to Obama's level of presentation.
So, do you really think our Nigerian leaders what they do here? They do joint. What do they call that thing again? Joint section for the Senate and the yeah State of the Union or State of the Union address. Do you think they should be doing that in Nigeria?
Don't they do it in Nigeria?
I
Or
don't
is
think
it
so.
when the president budget that the president shows up?
Yeah, the only time the president goes there is when they carry their briefcase, going to present budget, their inflated and padded budget. That's the only time he shows up there. And I think they should be doing it. And yeah, I think from time to time the president tries to address the nation. It's always pre-recorded, like a recorded interview, and then they will air it on the national TV, NTA. I think the Nigeria has evolved to a point where they no longer need to do that. In fact, I really want them to set the NTA, privatize NTA, because I don't really see why a government will be, owning a media house, because they will be very biased. So I would really like to see them sell it, just like a Tinubu owning a TVC. I would really see Tinubu selling that TVC, because lawfully it may be right, but morally it's wrong. Ethically, it should be wrong as well. Because if a president owns a private media house, do you really think they will be putting out good information from that media house?
Yeah, maybe not good information, maybe not information against the president, but at the same time, there's got to be a reason you're taking an action. So, what would the Nigerian president want to go talk about at the Senate? We know that they're out of touch with what's going on with the common people in Nigeria. So, what's the point of going to, you know, talk to them? Are they going to talk about how people are losing their jobs, how people can't afford to feed their families? So, what would be the point of the president going to talk to the Senate and also the House of Representatives? I would say even with the recorded TV broadcast that they do maybe a few times a year during holidays. I mean, we know it lacks substance. We know it lacks factual statement, and everything is propaganda. So, what's the point of uh doing the talk? I don't see a reason for it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. So let them just keep doing what they're doing at this point. And we know that a lot of the president's media advisors, they're out there for themselves. They don't, they're not reporting correct information. They're just trying to fight for where their paycheck is coming from. And it shows in their communications with the people. A lot of people are out there and they're hungry. And we can tell from the 30 days rant that the Nigerian people are, doing at this point. So I don't see a reason for him to do it. Former president in Nigeria, Buhari, it got worse at a point that people thought he had died. Because he wouldn't speak to the media. He wouldn't even put out any recorded statement. So why waste time? They don't care about the people. But if anything happens overseas, Nigerian media are gonna be the first people to commiserate with other people, and in their own country, people are dying daily, every hour. The lives of their citizens don't make meaning to them. Doesn't make sense.
I mean, the thing, it baffles me, Nigerian presidents, not just Tinubu, not even just Buhari. I think even from Obasanjo, a lot of them, they don't like to grant interview to our local media houses, but they are very quick to grant interview, especially when Buhari was the president. He will never speak to any media, any Nigerian media in Nigeria. But the moment he goes out, he will be spitting everything, saying everything. He is ready to grant interview to all the international media, but he never grant interview to local media. And not just Buhari. It looks like that's the trend. That's what most of them do. They don't grant interview to local media. Why is that?
Because they don't have anything good to share. That's my opinion. If they have something good to share, they'll be happy to share it with the people. They'll be happy to share it with their citizens. They don't have any good information to share. That will be my only reason for them not coming out to speak to their people. Because if you have any good information, you'll be out there proud of what you're doing, proud of the changes you're making, and you know, you'll be happy. Your people will be interested in hearing from you. They want to hear from you. They want to, see what you have to say about the situation and things going on. But it doesn't look like our leaders are interested.
Yeah. I don't really see anything changing anytime soon. Just like I said the other day, it looks like an average Nigerian is just waiting for his turn, and then the cycle continues, and then the looting, the corruption in every sector, keep going. I saw a post on the Facebook today that somebody that lives in Dubai, I think he also has a house in Nigeria, that was saying that he pays more for electricity in Nigeria than he pays in Dubai. I'm like, okay. And he was like saying in a month he pays almost 800,000 for light in Nigeria. And eight
Still
hundred
gonna
thousand
buy.
is that's I think they said band A or band B or something like that. And according to him, he says he pays about 200 and either 200 or 300 dirham in Dubai. And
You imagine it's still gonna fuel his generators, and we know that the light is not available 24/7. It's gonna fuel his generator. It's gonna be more than that when he accounts for how much money he spends on getting fuel for his generator.
it's even without him running air condition because I was surprised hearing it from a Nigerian that okay, they are scared to run the air condition, to sleep with the air condition because it
Takes a lot.
pushes the bill. It
Takes a lot of energy.
crazy. So closing up, I think we'll both answer this question. So if you are given an opportunity to be Nigerian president for like a month, okay, let's say for 1 year, what would you do differently from what these people are doing?
Well, number one thing is to listen to the people, get good information, get the real struggles of what the citizens are going through. We know that the struggles of average Nigerian do not make it to the presidency. We've been talking about electricity for years. We've been talking about good roads for years. We've been talking about basic amenities for years. And unfortunately, we've not been able to get it. Transportation cost is high because we can't, you know, fix our economy because we can refine our petroleum in Nigeria. And now that Dangote refinery is working, we'll see how that is helping the community, how it's helping the Nigerian citizens. But at this time, just fix the basic amenities, provide power that will bring up many other businesses. People will stop relying on fuel and will move on from electricity situation. But it doesn't look like we have the capacity to fix it because a lot of people are benefiting from generators. A lot of people that are importing generators and selling will lose money. They will lose their businesses. It doesn't look like that's going to work, but I believe a government should be able to provide basic amenities, electricity, good roads, kill insecurity completely, and feed your people, provide food, give them an enabling environment for farmers to go to farm and work, and bring produce to the market to sell for everybody to eat.
Yeah, I think for me, I will start with the security. The first thing I would do is to decentralize the police, give some power to the states, and have them take care of their security needs, give them the opportunity to form their own police, make sure it passes through the Senate and it becomes a law, not just by executive fiat, just make it pass through the Senate, the House of Rep, and then the Senate, and they pass it into law, and the states will be a governor would truly be the chief security officer of his state. Because as it is today, even though they call them chief security officer of their state, if they are not in good time with the president could frustrate them because what they give you is what you take. And that's it. You don't have any other thing. So decentralizing the police will really make a huge difference. And another thing I would really like to do if I have the opportunity to be a president is to go back to regional government. Take Nigeria back to regional government where they have um like we practiced before. Take it back to that. Let's go back to that. Each region, take care of yourself. More like what we have here. Each state, take care of your whatever you are blessed with, whatever natural resources you have, and that's how the federal government will run. We handle their expenses and stuff like that from that money, and then from each transaction, there'll probably be like a federal tax and state tax, just like we have here. Those are the two things I would really like to see. And the third thing would be to collapse the National Assembly, collapse them into one. We don't need the red and the green chamber. It's just too much. It's not financially viable. Just collapse them into one and see if there is a way to make the National Assembly members their job a part-time. So you have to have a regular job, and we just pay you for a seat anytime you sit. We don't just pay you, have a blanket salary we pay you every month, and constituency project and stuff like that, that we know that these people embezzle anyway, because at the end of the day, they just embezzle it. They don't do nothing, all those constituency projects. In fact, some of them, when they give things to their constituency, they don't disclose it to the constituency that this money is for constituency project. That is what I'm spending. This is not my personal money. But some of them, the way they present it as if they're just using their personal money to do those projects. No, you have to, come clean to the people. Tell them I'm doing this as part of my constituency project. I would really like to collapse the National Assembly, the green chamber and the red chamber, collapse them into one and reduce the number of representatives. We don't need that many people. It's just too capital intensive to run the two houses. And even the number of the representatives we have is just too capital intensive. And the last thing I will do, I will make the presidency a single term of 6 years so that the president can actually focus on governance. The 2 terms we do, they don't really do nothing. Maybe their first term, the first 2 years they will do something. The remaining 2 years they will just use it for campaign for the other, for the second term. And once you elect them up for a second term, they don't care again because they're not coming back again for the vote. So that I would really like to do a single term of 6 years. That will reduce, in fact, the money that we spend to conduct elections, the two elections, that will reduce it. And I would also like for all the election to hold one day. There is no separate day for presidential election. There will not be separate day for governorship election. Every single election will hold one day, and there will not be holiday because of election. Maybe there will be, well, until then, I would really like the whole election to hold on a single day.
Yeah,
What do you
those are
think?
all good ideas. I bet you're gonna face a lot of challenges executing those ideas, especially cutting the representative, cutting the Senate, reducing the numbers of the senators and the House of Rep members. I'm sure no one's gonna support that, but it's always a good idea, and hopefully people are out there listening and they can take your ideas to the government and make it work and implement the changes. But at this point, we've come to the end of this episode. Thank you for sharing all this good ideas, all the good information you've shared with us today. And for a lot of people out there, continue to better yourself, continue to work hard, strive to be better, strive to participate in your local politics. It's always good to participate in local politics so you can know what's going on and you can be a better representative or a good representative of your community. Thank you all for joining us. And on the final note, I'll yield to my co-host.
Thank you for hanging out tonight. Out with us. And if you ever feel to collaborate with us for a sponsorship or anything, just reach out to us. We can arrange for that. And thank you once again for hanging out with us. We say thank you. See you.
All right. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comments. Let us know what you think about our conversations and have a good day.